with that kind of setback. So even though they still have a top 16 spot, they still
see,
need to play out
this
their
is the difference between casters and players, all right? I'm a caster. I have a broken down key. I just get a new keyboard at that point. I just try to find something to play on a different thing. And Fort just says, no, it's a skill issue. You just play with it.
It's like trying to be able to run with a broken leg, and that's just what Fort is just trying to desperately, accommodate for. And TOGAIATS is just playing like TOGAIATS. Speedy, fast, damaging, free PPS. I mean, that's TOGAIATS for you. Best in Brazil.
Oh no, the misdrop, unfortunately. We can see, I think Fort is trying to hurriedly switch up the music channel, I believe, for them.
Yeah, Fort is just really having a hard time with this sort of thing. And of course, slamming all these hard drops down like it's NBA basketball. It's just really difficult for them. Well, TOGAIATS is just adding so much damage, but Fort is still trying their best to really make something out of this. And by those spikes, it definitely seems like he's trying. And TOGAIATS is playing fairly high, but of course with the speed that TOGAIATS can go, it's really hard to counter it unless TOGAIATS make some mistakes themselves.
Ooh, okay, the back-to-back though is building from FORTISSIM.
Very good multiplier too by Fort. Oh.
Yeah, passes up on that Tetris, doesn't need to send a spike if it's not going to top out TOGAIATS. TOGAIATS is really, okay, has to break back-to-back, goes all in on the garbage, has a misdrop. And Fort, all the way at the bottom of the stack, tries to push as much APM out as possible. Unfortunately, needs to get a couple skims as well under their belt. And now TOGAIATS is in a little bit of the repeat situation. The STSD only gets half complete as they take a second win.
Oh my god, Fort is really struggling so much. I just don't know whether to feel bad to continue casting. And the misdrops on the SDPC, I think that may be a good definition of that sort of... That's a pretty good definition of that setback. And Fort trying their best to make the best they can off of a very serious situation.
Oh my goodness.
TOGAIATS is still going. Look at the pressure. Look at the APM 200, but they're still pretty high on the board. And FORTISSIM is trying everything to make.
Oh my goodness, and a beautiful down stack from Fort, and now they're starting to really pull those chains.
Oh, that
Imperial Cross.
That M cross from Fort. Just something that they're so confident in, but they still want to try their best to really turn this around, even when they're 2 points behind. They just want to take down TOGAIATS like what TOGAIATS did to them. But TOGAIATS is just playing out their mind.
Oh, alright. Oh, the garbage is getting a little bit sputtery for TOGAIATS. However, it does get to an eyepiece in time.
And that's all about the speedy play of players like TOGAIATS just being able to get out at breezneck speeds. FORTISSIM is still trying to take the patience and also the sacrifice of a hard drop button, just trying to do everything to make this.
Oh, the back-to-back, very good use of the center well, and that's gonna be another game for FORTISSIM. Last time, it took them, okay, never mind, it's over.
It's just a lot to take in, and FORTISSIM is already going with some PC spam, the usual. Welcome to the FORTISSIM
The usual,
house.
the 300 APM usual from FORTISSIM. Oh my goodness, and the reverse spike from TOGAIATS. Immediately
that was a murder.
Received the envelope and said the return address is wrong. I'm returning this to sender. Please bring this back to me at a later date.
Oh my god, that wasn't a top out, that was a decap. And TOGAIATS is really continuing all that pressure and momentum. They're still going as fast as like any other speed demon would. Any kind of strider, no matter what.
Oh no, the misdrop for TOGAIATS!
Oh,
and that's going to be
so
another top out. And last time, Fort was not able to get 2 games before TOGAIATS took the set, and now FORTISSIM keeps the lead within 1.
FORTISSIM is really getting back onto their groove, and they're still continuing with that pressure. Very good weight by
Fort. And good
Fort.
spike mentality from FORTISSIM. There's 30, but TOGAIATS is still just as fast and able to mitigate most of that garbage.
Oh, unfortunately, gonna have to make plenty of cheese for themselves. That James drop gonna be very costly. Oh, FORTISSIM is still going with this clean efficiency, as they so casually do. And they're still trying to do what they can do best. Oh, very good 12 spike, but TOGAIATS breaking back-to-back at 8, but they're still keeping up that pressure. There's so much cheese for Fort to work with. But of course, when you're adapted to so many playstyles like Fort, it's just really hard to take down if you're TOGAIATS.
Oh my, 16 spike, it came all at once for FORTISSIM, but it doesn't matter. Oh my goodness.
Very good turnaround by Fort, gonna be able to just get it in their favor once again, while TOGAIATS is just hanging on by a thread with all of this pressure. Very good switchback by them. Fort is just starting to struggle, but they're still putting on so much damage. Oh my god.
Oh wow, and TOGAIATS, and that's an even game. FORTISSIM 3-3.
Yeah, FORTISSIM is starting to really make a proper use of that, scuffed spacebar button, but hey, you gotta do what's best for you, and Fort is really making up that mistake pretty much the best they can. And TOGAIATS over here
wow,
is
the
just trying to
donation
fix
play from
this.
Fort.
Ooh.
Yeah, okay. Oh, but TOGAIATS, a little bit of early spiking.
Oh.
But FORTISSIM, again, that extra practice with Corpy of playing slow and knowing how to get these counters out in time, coming in very useful to make sure they're not going to be topping out to TOGAIATS, even with all of this APM just suddenly rushing in all at once.
Yeah, and Fort is really, really patient and really conservative about those kinds of pieces and being able to recover just perfectly, and identifying the speed of someone like TOGAIATS, which, by the way, is the only speed demon that's currently in this bracket. It's just, I don't know how to make of this. This is just really difficult for Fort, but he's making it look so easy. And TOGAIATS is just still putting on all of that defense games, the variety, the diverse and versatile playstyle that they so wish to inherit is just looking pretty strong. And
wow, 29! Oh, and Fort runs out of skim options. Unfortunately, it was an S piece first and then the Z. But TOGAIATS takes that lead back. And it is 4-3. Remember, TOGAIATS only needs to win one more set. Okay. Oh my goodness, and Fort is blitzing out a ton of early APM.
Oh, and taking another round against TOGAIATS, tying it once again. Oh. Oh my god, TOGAIATS with the PC. This is something that Fort wishes that he could have. But they're just looking to macro as much as they can, because look at the pressure. But TOGAIATS is able to cancel all of that immediately.
Oh, wow, and good spike from Fort. TOGAIATS has, alright, beautiful option, turning that into a T-spin single. Making sure not to spend too many lines skimming. Well, that wasn't the nicest T-spin single, but still cleans it up very quickly. Another couple of misdrops, the T-spin, none. Not going to be lethal, though, but Fort is already building up this back-to-back, and you can see them are really starting to fly. 3.7, that speed is still going up. We see the magic number. There's a donation on top. But TOGAIATS tries to reverse spike, but FORTISSIM is ready for it and goes all in for a little bit of extra combo. Misdrops, unfortunately.
But FORTISSIM makes it out just okay. The 8 combo is enough to recover, and TOGAIATS is just still trying to do as much damage as he possibly could, like he did the last round. And he's just, oh my god, he was almost float stacking.
Oh,
that is so
boy.
Greedy. That is so greedy.
TOGAIATS able to get through. Not quite going to get that quad on combo. Definitely would have sealed the deal, I think, for this Game 9. FORTISSIM, though, doing a fantastic job.
Very good donut by TOGAIATS.
T-spin single. We get a fractal, but we're going to still a little ways before that next T, so going to have to get bailed on.
Oh, TOGAIATS. Putting the nail in the coffin to that round, taking the 9th round. And back the lead just by about a point. Fort really needs to make an insane number.
And, yeah, Fort, I think, was looking for ways to continue that SDPC. I don't think they had the best piece sequence, ideally. But still looking to be in a relatively okay position.
TOGAIATS that position, it definitely looks like FORTISSIM might be in trouble. This decision might be greedy, but it's still going to pay off for Fort. TOGAIATS is completely
20 spike. But not going to do much to TOGAIATS. They're ready to accept. And again, TOGAIATS still just going to try and continue keeping very few garbage on the board.
Oh my god.
Oh, it just barely gets through.
FORTISSIM is just clearly power stacking through all of this. Wanted to do something to make this work. But TOGAIATS with a bit of cheese, it's going to be very hard to deal with. FORTISSIM tying it once again.
And 5-5 between FORTISSIM and TOGAIATS. We have early O, so potentially stick spin if either player opts to do so, but it looks like neither one will. We see the TKI options come out from both.
Oh,
Fort has some very excellent garbage. That's going to be a
that's
pretty nice
set up.
spike going through. Tagayats is caught off guard and misdrops the eye.
That is a very lucky STSD quad combo for Fort securing a very short round. That was extremely lucky for Fort. If that weren't to happen, that would have been a very dire situation. But Fort is still making the best out of a sticky situation.
Oh, and now, yeah, Tagayats trying to see if they can spike out early. Fort has to spend the eyepiece, trying to dig down, and a misdropped Z. Tagayats brings it back to even. 6 answering 6. We have an early eye, so probably the TKI builds again from both. Fort almost missing the 180 spin, just going to keep continuing through, not going to go for that STSD continuation. And Tagayats right now is just going to try and build through a 7-2-6-3 as fast as humanly possible. Actually going to act a little bit of down stack as well in the process, trying to keep that garbage low, making sure that all of that stack is entirely man-made.
Oh my god, Tagayats is kicking up the momentum again. Fort's lead was short-lived, but he still has it pretty close. But Tagayats could be able to take 4 more rounds to secure the winner's top 16 spot. But FORTISSIM has to make a miracle to make this work. Oh.
Yep, no option there for the PC from FORTISSIM, so just going to keep continuing to stack and freestyle like normal. Tagayats has a little bit of interesting garbage to get through, but again, that 4 pieces per second really helping them make a lot of extra waves of improvements on this build.
Yeah, Tagayats is looking pretty healthy with this setup, having to rely on that center stacking, and Fort is just clearly looking for damage, looking for T-spins, looking for back-to-back, because the
Fort keeps back-to-back, finally breaks it at 9. Still got a little bit of that extra garbage in the process. Clean garbage still, just that one little bit of cheese. Actually going to accept, I think, did they skim the eyepiece on the top?
That is interesting.
Just a combo extend?
Was Tagayats transitioning from the ST stacking into mech? That is some bonkers levels of stacking from Tagayats. But
very creative plays to close out our Group C. Tagayats still in the lead by 1, only needs to win this set, but Fort still keeping things airtight between the two of them. And a couple of...
Oh. Count to 5. Oh my god, Tagayats and Fort. Both of these players are relatively at neutral, but Fort is just getting closer and closer to topping out. This is a minute 30. We could potentially have a long margin time window over here, but Tagayats is just making it last.
Oh, but the spike's huge from FORTISSIM, and that's going to clear up the center well. Lot of very quick garbage from Fort, and I believe that's going to spike Tagayats out. And we are 7-2-7 between FORTISSIM and Tagayats.
Yeah.
Early Z and I, again, seems to be the typical TKI builds from both. We see there's the STSD follow-up from Fort. Keeps back-to-back, gets to the clean garbage.
Good dono. Fort is keeping up the pressure. Back-to-back of 8. This is some very amazing damage for Fort. The TS is going to be able to continue it immediately. Oh, and that 6-4. That 6-4 looks mighty beautiful.
Oh my goodness, Fort keeps back-to-back. Gets the spike. Finally, it's over. But it doesn't matter. That's enough garbage to produce the top out. And Fort, 8-7, continues to have a lead or, well, either tied or lead. I think since they were at 5 wins.
God. And that there's so many minis that just secured the set entirely. Not exactly the set, but the round. But Tagayats ain't having it. He's still down stacking for the life of him. And FORTISSIM is just still playing like he normally does. Just spam damage, spam setups, spam mech, spam fins, spam anything. He just wants the patience and the chance to kill as soon as he could. Just the game plan needs to be in his favor. This is looking pretty risky for Fort, though, because look at the stack that he's building. All this greed has to pay off immediately, especially with the speed. And Tagayats is just still going with this defense.
Well, yeah, Fort's trying to consider ways to keep that stack clean. Fortunately, the back-to-back does have to break yet again. And
very
Tagayats, though, a little bit of skim, but yeah, very good. Making sure to keep, again, as much of that garbage off the board as they possibly can.
Very good floaty by Fort. Gonna be able to make some proper usage of it. Also amazing count to 4. Gonna have to delay that quad eventually with this 8-1.
Oh, the STSD builds.
Oh, but I don't think it's enough to kill TOGAIATS, because TOGAIATS still has also enough 9-0 pressure for themselves. FORTISSIM's board. Doesn't
Very
look...
interesting choices, though, from Fort. Unfortunately, the eyepiece, it does have to get slotted over column 1, so it's going to be a little difficult for Fort to get to that garbage and downstack. Manages to do so, though, just in the nick of time. TOGAIATS isn't able to send out enough pressure, as they are very low on the board with not enough ammo.
Oh, beautiful downstack by Fort. TOGAIATS has a very strong eye dependency, not going to be able to get the quad, and they're still trying to see what works for them. And Fort is just... oh boy, the 6-3. You know it's coming. You know it's coming.
Oh boy, but so is the garbage.
Oh my god, TOGAIATS barely almost killing FORTISSIM in a matter of seconds, but FORTISSIM is still alive and hanging. And TOGAIATS is just frantically just doing his best to play as fast and speedy and just trying to kill FORTISSIM. No matter the cost, no matter if it's the board efficiency, but Fort is still going. He's still going, and the back-to-back pressure, like we saw, C's just becoming stronger and stronger.
Oh, okay, finally has to break the back-to-back, but we are getting a little bit closer to that margin time. You can start to see the pieces are starting to speed up as they're falling down.
Oh my god, FORTISSIM!
Oh!
Oh my god!
Wow. An 8-8. I'm pretty sure since like 5 wins, I don't think there was a single lead higher than 2. Just
God, and I think the one time we've seen it was TOGAIATS. Oh god. Oh god, TOGAIATS is just looking to add so much pressure, but Fort loves the clean. He loves the clean. He wants the clean, and that's just what he wants.
There's the counter spike. TOGAIATS, though, has the resources to make it work, but unfortunately does not cash out on the eyepiece in time and gets stuck in an unfavorable position. 9-8. FORTISSIM only needs 2 more for the bracket reset, but TOGAIATS still within threatening range of pushing it to deuce. I believe Fort with the BT cannon follow-up does not go with the C-spin continuation. And a misdrop from TOGAIATS. 10-8. FORTISSIM is 1 game off from bringing this to a bracket reset as we have an early O&I to start things off.
And Fort not going for the perfect clear, but TOGAIATS not choosing the same. And looks like both of these players are trying to play as honest as they can, but TOGAIATS is looking pretty high, but Fort needs to add just enough pressure in order to top him out and secure a bracket reset.
Oh my goodness, and look at this. Look at TOGAIATS right now, 4.4, almost a resting speed, is really trying to blitz things out to make sure that they don't top out from anything with FORTISSIM. They want to try and see. They've already gotten 8 wins so far. They don't want to lose it here and have to reset the bracket. But it looks like it might potentially be the case if FORTISSIM sends a big enough counter spike follow-up. But it's not going to happen in time as TOGAIATS able to get out and out to the clean garbage.
But TOGAIATS needs to wait for that quad, though, as FORTISSIM is still continuously sending him back up to the board. This is looking pretty risky. FORTISSIM, unfortunately, not finding the PC that they so desperately wanted to turn this around.
Oh my goodness, the mid-game all-clear from TOGAIATS.
Speaking of PCs, TOGAIATS finds one immediately, but of course with a bit of garbage couldn't exactly find another one. So FORTISSIM needs to really think ahead of time.
Oh, the huge spike from TOGAIATS. I believe that's going to do a top out. And now there is a lot of pressure on both players. TOGAIATS win will push it to deuce. FORTISSIM will push for bracket resets. And it looks like we're going to be seeing SDPC blitz out of FORTISSIM. Unfortunately, the all-clear is not there, so they're just going to continue, keep building up that back-to-back. TOGAIATS rushes in a spike.
That might be greedy.
Oh, but where's the dig options? And I think that's a deuce in grand finals. 10-10 between FORTISSIM and TOGAIATS. The first deuce on stream. And it has finally arrived. But we see again the SDPC blitz from FORTISSIM going to crash out as much of that APM as possible. Here's the DPC. And it's going to almost be overwhelming, but TOGAIATS does get the builds off in time.
The striding! The striding from TOGAIATS, that's just gonna mean nothing to FORTISSIM. Because all of that PCs, what is that gonna do? What's that gonna do if you're FORTISSIM?
Oh, but Fort gets to the well clean. There's a 9 back-to-back. These are going to start to really matter, and a couple of misdrops. Fort regains that advantage. It's 11-10. One more match will push it to a bracket reset and put Fort into a new clean slate. But TOGAIATS is so close, they don't want to have this happen if they can avoid it. I believe that's an early misdrop, though, from TOGAIATS.
Oh my god, but TOGAIATS just doesn't really care about that all that much, except for Fort. Fort wants to just... Oh my god, Fort just wants to live. That's a match point situation, if not a reset point situation. Because TOGAIATS is just still holding, just all of this cheese, able to eat it up just so effortlessly. But Fort is just really starting to get sick of all of this defense, if not the entire set. Because TOGAIATS is still sending so much damage. Oh god, and the
Oh my goodness, the forecasted T-spin double. Unfortunately, Fort has to bail on it, and there's a misdrop as well. We're going to be going to another deuce. It's 11-11. Ordinarily, this would be enough to win the entire grand finals or put it into a reset. But both players, despite a 1-11 in winners finals, have kept things just as close as can possibly be. We see the DPC comes out from FORTISSIM, tries to get that instant early game spike, and they do. Advantage is still in FORTISSIM's grasp, but TOGAIATS is trying not to let this slip through their fingers to a bracket reset. They want to just end it as soon as possible.
Oh, very good patience by both players. Both of them just canceling the... Uh-oh, that's a boomerang. That's a boomerang, Fort. That's a boomerang.
Oh, but they managed to clean it up, and there's not a lot of cheese. Fort still has plenty of options left, but so does TOGAIATS. TOGAIATS blitzing out at 4.5 pieces per second.
A very beautiful play by Fort, being able to secure that STSD, but TOGAIATS just sends more. He just sends more. A triple deuce?
Oh my goodness, 12-12 between FORTISSIM and TOGAIATS.
Oh,
so we have an early LNJ to start.
And
alright, and we're going to see Grace System from Fort. There's the double perfect clear. We do not see a DPC. TOGAIATS rushing in a lot of pressure. Oh, there's the fractal. And TOGAIATS still pulling up this back-to-back, but Fort is doing an incredible job tanking, but it's not going to be enough. 276, and TOGAIATS has the lead.
TOGAIATS may be able to take this legendary upset once again against FORTISSIM, the former world record blitz holder.
Oh, and the all-clear does shut down SDPC. Fort still able to get the triple-double as a result, but a misdrop from TOGAIATS, and we're still on a deuce. It's 13-13.
Deuce for both players. It's all about the fundamentals at this point. Who is going to take this set?
Oh my goodness, and Fort yet again goes for another Grace System. I think was trying to look for another perfect clear. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen in time. It's TOGAIATS is going to get a couple of T-spin singles, break some back-to-back, and send some cheese. Fort with a little bit of the timing as well.
He's just hanging on by a thread with all these points. The quadruple deuce, it's just so many rounds. This is not even Tetrio anymore. This is just a battle of mind games.
Oh, but Fort, 7 back-to-back still has to break it. TOGAIATS manages to get through to the center well. Fort tries to find a way to kick things in. No, it's not going to happen. It's 14-13 for TOGAIATS.
Oh my god, Fort. If he ever secures another round, we might have a quintuple deuce at this point. But judging by the
oh my goodness, and the very quick all clears. Fort's gonna blitz it out. TOGAIATS is ready for it. Skims through to the well, but Fort is still getting these all clears. 5 pieces per second with a broken hard drop key. DPC, and this is a crazy amount of pressure, but TOGAIATS is still keeping it clean. And there's the reverse 30 spike, and FORTISSIM as well. 300 APM is still continuing on with this. Does not want to let this go. Will keep tugging until their fingers cannot pull anymore on this rope. Eyepiece misdrop on 7 back-to-back. TOGAIATS, though, not in a position to capitalize.
Oh my god, Fort is giving his all, the best he can. He needs to play safe. He needs to secure another deuce. He needs to do anything in order to turn this around, because this is such a grueling set for both of these players. We have never had a quadruple deuce in all of Tetrio World Cup history, if not all of competitive Tetrio, history. In general. This is just This is the peak of what we see with players like these.
Oh my goodness. And just... Okay, a little bit of center wall from FORTISSIM. It's like I see these spikes happening, and I can know, Forts into guys just building up and down the entire time, but just it doesn't matter.
The parapet, the parapet. FORTISSIM is still going. He's still holding on. He still has so much.
Oh my goodness! And this might be what FORTISSIM needs. There's the STSD, but TOGAIATS gets to the clean garbage in the nick of time. It's a breaking of the back-to-back on FORTISSIM, but a couple of misdrops on TOGAIATS. We are on to a 14-14 deuce. I believe that's what, at least 4 or 5 in a row. And since 5-game wins between TOGAIATS and FORTISSIM, this lead has still stayed within 1. FORTISSIM working on those perfect clears. Going to go for the TKI. It's another perfect clear. PC loops.
Another one.
And TOGAIATS still keeps it low.
Another one.
There's another PC. TOGAIATS still keeps it clean. Finally, a misdrop on Fort's board.
Oh my god, this.
Oh no, and Fort with a misdrop. And I think that's a little bit of nerves. That's gonna do it. TOGAIATS 15-14. Everyone fighting inch and nail. Trying to find a way to break through these walls. But Fort as well, just not letting this go. There's the all clear as a result. A misdrop. That's another. It's another. We're 30 games in, and there's still no winner. 30 games in. We still don't have a winner. We're still at deuce.
How is this group grand finals? This is about as. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord.
I can't even speak anymore, David. This is too much for me.
No, I don't blame you. This set was supposed to have 11 as its win condition. We're 30 games in. We're about to beat that by 3 times over.
We have never had a quintuple deuce happen at TWC ever, if not all of Tetrio. This is about, like I said, this is about as peak as we're gonna get. This is just so much for both of these players to handle. I don't know who to root for.
Oh wow, TOGAIATS though with the sidewell. 20 spike from Fort though is going to protect them. They have the back-to-back still rolling. It's at 15, 16. It's now 17. Higher than the set count, which is incredibly difficult to say.
Oh
TOGAIATS.
My god, I'm gonna cry.
Oh, still keeping this spike going.
I can't. Dude, what the hell is going on? What the hell?
Oh, but Fort, a little bit greedy, but 15 spike. Still goes for it, and TOGAIATS gets caught off guard.
Oh God,
Fort regains the lead since the first time since I believe they had 12 or 13 wins. 31 games. Is it going to end at 32 for a bracket reset? TOGAIATS still going to try and fight for their life. All right, the all clear is denied. TOGAIATS sends enough counter garbage in time, but Fort is also trying to keep this pressure up. Back-to-back is still getting blitzed out from them. 4.5 pieces per second, though, keeping TOGAIATS alive and a huge offensive pressure. But Fort, enough back-to-back. There's a misdrop Z, and that's it. That's a bracket reset after 32 games. FORTISSIM pushes it 17-15. The results screen is going to have to start scrolling. 3,000 lines sent from both players each. And it barely fits in your screen that you're watching this on, but the performance is on.
What have you got on this one? Clearly, they're incredibly closely matched.
I mean, it's a tough for me. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. This one's just such a close one.
Hey, I mean, if we did know, that'd kind of take the fun out of it. So.
I mean, that's so true. So true. But, I mean, right now, Fort's starting it strong with this 8 back-to-back here.
Great back-to-back, but TOGAIA has the significant speed advantage here. I know Fort has that incredible sprint speed, but for a lot of players, that doesn't really convert into versus. They want to play a slower, more calculated style. And Fort was doing that by keeping up that back-to-back, but does break it eventually.
Yeah, TOGAIA is definitely known as a more speedy player, so you can see it right now. Maybe not as efficient, but I mean, if it works, it works. They managed to win the warm-up, and then they won Winners Finals doing it before, so we'll see if it works. And right now, they sent so much cheese to Fort. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, TOGAIA, this is going to be a big attack, but Fort does a great job downstacking through the cheese and manages to stay alive, at least for the time being. And yeah, Fort right back at the bottom. No big deal. Oh my goodness.
Well, looks like Togaia couldn't keep that back-to-back, was forced to break it. In the meanwhile, Fort building a 4-wide, okay, 4, not a strategy you see often, but, I mean, it really didn't do anything to Togaia, so I can't say it's a great one, but they are still alive, so I guess that's what counts.
Yeah, 4-wide is quite difficult to use in this game. I mean, if you can get that multiplier after a big, juicy 4-wide, of course, that's a different story, but it's just not feasible at this top level where the pressure is constant and unrelenting. And speaking of unrelenting, this game nearly at 2 minutes now, and both players keeping up the aggression and the speed as well. Only getting faster, it feels, as time goes on.
Yeah, I feel like Togaia was like at 3.7 and is now approaching 3.9 at this point.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a big misdrop for Fort.
There. Oh, such a clean find to make their way down. Togaia just not in a position to kill. Looks like they didn't have a T-piece ready.
But look at these
Fort,
awkward
yeah,
holes.
cheesed up.
Still a little bit to go, but Togaia, great cancels from Fort, and Fort's fine. Oh, great downstack. Great downstack from Fort. Togaia on the ropes. Can he find the downstack? Yes, he can. 2.5 minutes.
Oh, Fort,
Neither
another
player
misdrop
wants
there.
to let go of this game.
Yeah, neither of them giving it up. Togaia with a very nice spike there, but looks like Fort gets out of it.
Fort doing a little bit of timing there. Great cancel on the spike from Togaia. Oh, and Togaia just does not want to stop. Is this going to be the game, though? Fort cycles the eye in time, but the attacks just keep coming, and Togaia will pick up the first.
Yeah, what a ridiculous start. They nearly hit 3 minutes, nearly hit margin time. If this was how their first set goes, then I understand why it went to bracket reset.
Yeah. Clear that they're incredibly matched. Oh, Togaia with a big spike, though, and a PC to follow it up. Are you kidding me? And Fort just brushes it off. No big deal. Still in the game. Great downstack.
Yeah, now Togaia's in the hot seat, does not get the T-piece in time, 1 piece off, and Fort tying it right back up.
And that's what happens, you know, when you get that big attack reversed, when you use all of your ammo on that perfect clear, and they survive, the tides immediately turn in a deadly way. And great work from Fort to tie the set back up.
Yeah, Togaia right now with that nice spike there, sending Fort a little bit of cheese, but Fort counters with an STSD of their own here. But now Fort trying to find an eyepiece.
Okay. Does get to the garbage hole in time. So, you know, they're back at a standoff.
Oh, Togaia had such a nice back-to-back position, but then so many misdrops into more misdrops. Fort is looking happy right now.
Oh my. And Fort taking the lead.
That's the risk of the speed. If you play as fast as Togaia does, you can make so many misdrops in a row, and it's very hard to come back from it.
And look at this setup from Togaia. Just incredible back-to-back prowess. Does break it there, but still keeping up this immense speed, 4.5 pieces per second. And Fort doing a great job to survive.
Oh, looks like another misdrop there from Togaia, and another one forcing them to break out and try and downstack here. Fort does get the opportunity to start building back-to-back, and it's enough to actually get another kill there.
And Togaia, it feels like the panic button is just hit that extra speed. But the problem with extra speed and panic is it leads to a lot of mistakes. So Togaia is going to have to make sure to build up that cool again.
Yeah, looks like I feel like they've just been struggling a little bit too much with misdrops their
that,
last few sets. But speaking of misdrops, there, Fort.
My misdrop and a massive spike from Togaia, and doesn't want to let go of this one easily.
Yeah, not giving up quite yet. Fort right now gets the PC, gets the next one, trying to loop here. Do they find the third? They do. Togaia just trying to downstack here. Gets to the eyepiece. Fort cannot keep that back-to-back.
That was raw speed to survive that. Absolutely raw.
Yeah, I mean...
Not even the most efficient play, just the consistent 4.5 pieces per second hammering away at that downstack.
I mean, that's Togaia. I'm pretty sure they have like a sub 110 like cheese race, but it is not that efficient, I'll be completely honest. And I mean, it works for them, so it works. They got out of it, and right now it's Fort the one struggling to make their way down through this cheese.
When you have this incredible talent, this incredible ability to go so fast, and then perfect clear from Togaia, are you kidding me?
No!
Oh my god. Wow.
If I was Fort, I would be in tears at that. Oh my goodness, Togaia tying it right back up with what a PC that was.
That was disgusting, and Togaia proving, yeah, nah, you're not gonna pull a fast one on me, buddy.
You're not that good, buddy. You're not that good.
Wow. And well, right back into game 7 here. Fort, a bit of an awkward stack. Can he reach the garbage? Oh, barely
make
in
their
time.
way down, yeah, but kind of destroys their board.
Compromises made, yeah, and now a lot of cheese still to get through, and Togaia will not leave that unpunished, taking the lead back with 3 straight.
Oh my goodness, Togaia popping off at this point, making sure it is close, now taking the lead here. Togaia starting with the PCs, they might try and counter with their own, do not get a third one here. Looks like Fort is sent a little bit up, but they do have a nice 9 well to keep that back-to-back they have going.
And Togaia at 5 pieces per second. Just, I said speed might be the panic button, but it might also literally just be the success button, because oh my god, is Togaia moving right now.
But Fort had such a nice downstack there, sent so much cheese, sending Togaia up. Now they're forced to try and downstack. They do find a nice one. Getting the Tetris in the meantime, gets their own spike, but Fort has back-to-back right now, keeping it going here, sending Togaia right back up.
Yeah, great downstack from Togaia, and just the speed coming in so clutch, and Fort now in a really gross spot, had to make some gross decisions because of the board height, and Togaia feels like he might be running away with it a little bit, but I mean, we all know that score of that first set. So surely Fort still has some tricks left in the bag.
Looks like Fort taking this one a little bit more slow, deciding to time here. I'm not sure if that strategy works when your opponent is going 4.4 PPS, but I mean, with missed drops like that, it might be their best opportunity here.
I mean, Togaia has shown that with this incredible speed also comes some incredible misdrops, and that might be what Fort is lying in wait for, crouched like a tiger and waiting to strike.
Yeah, looks like they did have a few misshops of their own, but they managed to get out of it nicely. In the meantime, Togaia did start building up that back-to-back, did have to combo out of it because they were sent a lot here, and both of them just sitting at the bottom of the board in a pretty neutral position. But right as I say that, Togaia with a spike into another spike,
Great.
Now winning, what is it, like 4 or 5 in a row here?
5 in a row even, and the momentum is fully on the side of Brazil. Fort needs some magic. Fort needs a spark.
Fort needs that Canadian magic. I mean, Brazil's dominating right now. We need some maple syrup in the chat.
But I mean, if Togaia is going to keep up this kind of pressure, all that being said, Togaia pushed up a little bit, but yeah, it's going to just dig out of there immediately. That's what 4.5 pieces per second will do for you.
And right now, Fort is in a little bit of a difficult position, trying to keep that back-to-back, but cannot maintain it much at all. Togaia is the one. Looks like they have so much clean to work with, starting to get that burst up again. Yeah, keeping that back-to-back still going. Up to 6 at this point. Fort is getting sent up to the top, just trying to downstack through all of this pressure here, but looks like Togaia breaks that back-to-back, cannot keep it going.
And both of these players, like, even when Fort can build this back-to-back, it feels almost futile because Togaia can always force it to be broken with that incredible speed.
Yeah, it's just like, they're not just using the speed for that back-to-back change, they're also using it to send a lot of cheese, and it's been working wonders for them.
It's clear that Togaia's game plan isn't really to build a crazy back-to-back. It's more to send some disgusting cheese and to break Fort's plans, but as I say that, Fort will clean it up. But yeah, Togaia almost able to escape.
Yeah, looks like Togaia was the one that dealt with a bit of cheese that round, and they could not make it down fast enough, even with all of that speed. Fort finally getting another win in the books, really needed it to try and shift the momentum that Togaia had. And right now they might get another quick one in it, and they do here, one away from tying it right back up here.
That's so big for Fort, fighting his way back into the set. And it just keeps going. Like, neither player taking a moment to breathe. It is non-stop action.
Getting the PC! Does not go for the second one, it looks like. Yeah, I saw they had a really nice board for it, but it looks like they did not want to continue it. I mean, looks like Togaia has a lot of clean right now, so probably a better idea than going for the back-to-back
There's definitely
PCs.
Inherent risk when you go for the back-to-back PCs, as we saw. Because a lot of the time they don't even kill, but look at this garbage from Togaia, and it's just gonna keep piling up! I can't believe Fort's alive out of that.
Alive. Oh my goodness,
60 lines or so in the span of a couple seconds, and Fort does not care. Incredible down stack, and sending back some spikes of his own.
Yeah, like, Togaia was at the top, then sends a huge spike to send Fort to the top, but they still down stack out of it. And now we're back into a pretty neutral position. Looks like Fort is getting ready to start trying to build some attack here with this clean well, but Togaia is still not stopping with this speed, still not stopping with this pressure. Ooh, tries to keep the back-to-back, but has that J misshot forced to break out of it.
It's just how Togaia rolls, you know, doesn't hit the stop button at all. And, well, it's been working so far, but Fort's found great ways to counter it. But look at that incredible 31 spike from Togaia. Great defense from Fort, though. Fort playing an incredible defensive game, waiting out the attacks, timing excellently to make sure that he stays alive and can wait for an opportunity to strike.
Yeah, so nicely done, but they are in a difficult position right now, dealing with a lot of cheese. Togaia is trying to build that back-to-back to start, getting the kill ready, but Fort does make it down to the bottom, and the perfect well they got!
Look at that well.
Oh my goodness, and Togaia cannot survive it. Fort ties it back up here, 6-6.
When God gives you a graceful gift, you better use it, and Fort, amazing garbage, using it perfectly to take another round off Togaia. And we are tied up at 6 apiece. Togaia not looking to slow down, though. Still playing with that consistent offense. But Fort speeding it up now. Up to 4 pieces per second as well. Was the slower player up to this point. But now using
back to back. That's
yeah,
all you
turning
can
it
say.
around. Incredible. And that's 4 in a row now for the Canadian. Brazil needs an answer.
Yeah, it's just back and forth. Momentum switching.
On Togaia's shoulders. Ridiculous stuff.
Both of them trying to build back-to-back, but Fort with that massive mishops put them in such a bad position, and Togaia's ready with a massive spike. Tying it again.
Again, another situation when you're given a gift. Not a time to waste it. Great capitalized from Togaia. And we are back. 7-7. The most evenly matched set so far happened in the first set between these players. And it is not looking like it's about to let up.
Fort sitting right now super high on their board, trying to downstack through a little bit of cheese. They do make it down. Now Togaia is being sent up, trying to find a way down. Does make it back down, both of them into a pretty neutral position, but Togaia immediately speeding up back into this back-to-back the second they get the chance here. Now Fort's the one being sent to the top, makes their way down just barely here.
Great little multiplier from Togaia, and this consistency in attack is also just incredible. Over these long games, over 200 APM, often for both players. And Togaia catches Fort doing a bit of a greedy Imperial Cross and takes back the lead once more.
This is ridiculous. How many lead splits are we gonna get? And Fort with this PC spam right here, but Togaia's ready to counter it. Got that back-to-back going here. Does not keep it going, but it does send Fort a tiny bit of cheese there, but they have such a nice down stack to make their way to the bottom immediately after that.
Great work. And one downside of Togaia's pressure is without the bite of the back-to-back, it's difficult to really convert it into a meaningful advantage without a little mistake on the other side. And so if Togaia can't get the bite of the back-to-back, you know, a lot of it is just sort of, you know, trying to abuse this ability to send cheese. And it's paying off quite well. But
I mean, they got that lead, but Fort's still going here. They have that back-to-back chain. Do break out of it because of that S misdrop, unfortunately,
And
giving
look at that
Togaia
cheese
the chance to
immediately.
LST here.
And Togaia wanting to put that bite of the back-to-back in the attack, but two big misdrops. That's the downside of playing so fast, is when you have that big misdrop, you might already be placing that second piece without being able to react to the placement of the first one. And that's when you build up a big problem, but immediately fixed from Togaia, and now Fort, the one with the cheese.
Yeah, Fort had like an 8 back-to-back chain, but Togaia did not care. They did not stop, sent so much cheese there, and now a 2-point lead here, only 2 away from actually taking the set.
Wants to repeat the winner's result that happened earlier. It feels as if these players could not be closer, but Fort needs a spike, a spark of life around to stay in the game, because 10-7 is not a place you want to play from.
Absolutely not right now. Togaia does have that Omish drop, does use the T-piece to clear it, forcing them to waste a little bit. Fort, on the other hand, is trying to build some back-to-back, has such a clean well right now. Is just upstacking perfectly, gets the perfect well from Togaia.
The ideal well.
Takes it,
and
gets
look
the
at that.
massive
Incredible.
31 spike. Oh my goodness.
Incredible.
You were saying take the opportunities you get, and Fort did. That was beyond perfect there.
Yeah. Wow. And Fort does not want to let this slip away. Once again, gifted an incredible well.
Deciding to time there, but Togaia still pressuring more there.
Oh, but Fort with a great counter spike, but all of it sent clean to Togaia.
But
What
it's
can he
so
make
much
out of
clean.
it? Fort's still alive, though. Great speedy downstack burst, and, you know, we're still in this.
Yeah, Fort's still clinging on the edge of their life. Togaia's still not done with this back-to-back chain. Fort trying to build their own, but a little bit behind at this point. But Togaia does break it, but Fort also having the misdrop here, trying to fix it. Has that Z-piece placement. Can't get the eyepiece over, tries to
my God!
barely downstacking, not able to do it, and now Togaia match point
chain
here.
misdrop, and Togaia trying to make it as the top seed from Group C, blowing away the initial seeding completely. It all comes down to these next 2 rounds. Needs to convert 1 to avoid a deuce, but Fort has forced a deuce before, and this is when the nerves kick in. You are inches away from glory. Can you close it out?
That is the question, and Togaia right now pressuring super hard at this point.
Oh, but
Fort with the
nerves go both ways, and Fort,
and it cost
it's
him.
over.
Togaia takes it here, and is your Group C winner.
Wow.
Wow,
Great set.
indeed.
I can see how this went 15-17 because that was incredibly back and forth.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Over 2,000 lines sent by both of these players. Amazing, amazing.